Your blood type is literally trying to kill you. No, seriously, right now, as you watch this, your blood is either protecting you from a disease that killed millions or setting you up for one that will. Oh, and if you're type O, mosquitoes think you're a five-star Michelin restaurant. I'm not kidding. They can smell your blood type from across the room. Today, we're exposing why your veins are basically running ancient software that hasn't been updated in 10,000 years. And spoiler alert, evolution is a terrible programmer. Let's untangle this mess. Point 10, O positive, the silent majority. Statistically, 4 of you watching this have O positive blood. Yes, you're basically the vanilla ice cream of blood types. But wait, before you click away thinking you're boring, you're actually a walking emergency kit. Picture this, it's 2 a.m., someone's bleeding out, and the nurse is like, just grab the O positive. You're the duct tape of the medical world, fixes almost everything. Well, everything are H positive anyway. See, you lack A and B antigens, which in blood terms means you're Switzerland neutral territory. Your red blood cells are like, we don't pick sides, which is great for everyone else who needs your blood. But here's where it gets weird. Your smooth antigen-free cells, they're basically wearing a sign that says parasites welcome. Evolution looked at your ancestors and said, you know what would be funny? Let's make their blood super attractive to diseases, but also the most useful. It'll be hilarious. Plot twist, natural selection actually knew what it was doing. Kind of. Maybe. Let me explain. Point 9, O positive's malaria shield. Remember that parasite welcome sign? Psyche. It's actually a trap. Your lack of antigens is an ancient defense system against malaria. The deadliest malaria parasite, let's call him Steve. Plasmodium falciparum Steve needs red blood cells to clump together, like a terrible blood smoothie. But O-type blood, it's like trying to make a smoothie with water. Steve hates it.
Yeah.
Here's what's actually happening. Steve uses these proteins called rifin that grab onto your red blood cells. But rifin proteins stick to A-type cells like superglue and barely hold on to O-type cells. It's like trying to build a tower with magnetic blocks versus trying to stack water droplets. While your A and B friends are getting their blood cells turned into malaria McNuggets, you're just vibing. Research shows O carriers have significantly lower rates of severe malaria. We're talking about a 66% reduction in severe malaria compared to non-O types. In sub-Saharan Africa, parts of Asia, the Mediterranean, basically everywhere mosquitoes throw their murder parties. Populations with more O types survived at higher rates. Fun fact, in Nigeria, over 50% of the population has O blood. In places where malaria has been killing people for millennia, O types dominated the survivors club. But evolution is basically that friend who gives with one hand and slaps you with the other. Point 8, the cholera vulnerability. Congratulations on your malaria immunity, says evolution. As a bonus prize, you're now twice as likely to die from cholera. Wait, what? That same exposed H antigen that told malaria to buzz off? It's literally a red carpet for cholera. The cholera bacterium looks at O types and goes, it's free real estate. Imagine you're an O type in 1850s London. You survived malaria like a boss, feeling invincible. Then cholera shows up like, hey, nice H antigen highway you got there. Would be a shame if someone used it. During cholera outbreaks in Bangladesh, O-type patients needed aggressive treatment, like angry doctor yelling at bacteria aggressive. In fact, O-types were 8 times more likely to need hospitalization for severe cholera. And here's the wild part. In Bangladesh and the Ganges Delta, where cholera has been endemic for centuries, only about 33 to 37% of people have type O blood. Compare that to Nigeria's 50% plus O types. Evolution literally sculpted different populations based on which disease was trying to kill them more. Your ancestors will take malaria protection. Evolution, great. Side effects include potential death by poop water. Your ancestors, wait, what? Evolution, no refunds. Also, norovirus loves you too. You're welcome. Speaking of things surgeons notice immediately. Point 7, the bleeding factor. Fun fact, if you're O-type, you bleed significantly longer than others. That's actually not fun at all. Your blood has about 25 to 50% less von Willebrand factor, which sounds like a German villain, but is actually your clotting protein. You know what this means. Paper cuts are your nemesis. Shaving is an extreme sport. Cooking with knives? Good luck. But wait, there's a plot twist. This weakness is secretly a superpower. Less clotting factor equals less chance of stroke, heart attack, or deep vein thrombosis. Your blood has less of that molecular glue than Willebrand factor and factor 8 that makes blood sticky. Yes, it means wounds take longer to seal, but it also means you're 8 to 10% less likely to have a heart attack or stroke compared to non-O types. Studies show O types have significantly lower rates of dying from the number one killer in modern society. So yeah, you bleed longer from cuts, but your heart isn't plotting your demise. Evolution. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Modern surgeons, it's definitely a bug. Meanwhile, the second most common blood type played a completely different game. Point 6. A posited. The farmer's advantage. 10,000 years ago, humans invented farming and immediately regretted it. Suddenly, we're living in villages. Everyone's pooping near the water supply. And bacteria are having the time of their lives. Typhoid, dysentery, cholera. It's like Coachella for pathogens. Enter A-type blood, the bacteria bouncer. The A antigen triggered aggressive immune responses against these party-crashing intestinal bacteria. While O types were optimized for malaria resistance, A types developed a biological bouncer specifically for the disgusting reality of dense agricultural communities where everyone's poop ended up in everyone's water. 30% of you have A positive blood because your ancestors were really good at not dying from their own poop. Congratulations, that's your genetic legacy. Europe and Asia, where people farmed earliest, have way more A types. Places where people kept hunting longer, not so much. Your blood type is literally a receipt for what your great-great-great times 1,000 grandparents did for a living. But remember evolution. Our sketchy dealer? Yeah. About that bill? 4.5. A's cardiovascular price tag. Thanks for beta testing agriculture, says evolution. Your payment is due now. That same A antigen that saved your farming ancestors from bacteria fest 8,000 BCE. It makes your blood sticky, like maple syrup sticky, like trying to pour ketchup from a new bottle sticky. A types have higher clotting factors, about 25% more von Willebrand factor, and factor 8 than O types. In ancient times, this meant, yay, we don't bleed to death from a farming accident. But now it means, oh no, all that molecular glue is forming clots in the wrong places. The cruel irony? The trait that saved your ancestors from dying at 25 from dysentery is now trying to kill you at 65 from a heart attack. Your blood is optimized for threats that barely exist, while struggling with threats that didn't exist back then. Your blood, is that cholera? Activate maximum clotting. Your body, that's a cheeseburger. Your blood. Maximum clotting. Studies link type A with about 8 to 10% higher risk of coronary disease and heart attacks. You're playing life on hard mode, cardiovascular edition. Meanwhile, B-type blood was doing something completely different. Point 4. B blood, the Asian migration marker. Type B blood is basically a genetic GPS tracker. Look at a world map of B-type distribution, and it's like someone spilled coffee from Central Asia outward. Highest in the Himalayas and Mongolia, decreasing toward Europe and Africa. That's not random, that's history written in blood. If you have B-type blood, congratulations. Your blood is a 15,000-year-old Ancestry.com result. Scientists think B emerged in the highlands, where people were like, you know what? Let's herd yaks and see what happens. These populations moved along trade routes carrying their B alleles, like biological passports. B-types were special. Evolution. You're literally just migration documentation. B-types. We're special migration documentation. The B antigen also has its own weird disease relationships. Some protection here, some vulnerability there. Evolution's basically playing Pokemon with your immune system. But here's where human history gets really weird. Point 3. AB positive, the 500-year-old hybrid. AB positive blood is younger than the printing press. It didn't even exist when Columbus sailed to America. Let that sink in. This blood type didn't evolve. It was invented by accident. Around the 1500s, when an A-type European and B-type Asian had a baby and created blood-type DLC that nobody asked for. A B emerged during the Renaissance when global trade routes finally connected A-dominant Europe with B-dominant Asia. Your blood type is literally a product of the age of exploration. AB is rarer than a shiny Charizard. Less than 5% of humans have it. You're the universal recipient, which sounds cool, until you realize it means I can take everyone's blood, but almost nobody can take mine. You're the friend who can eat at any restaurant, but can only cook one specific dish nobody likes. If you're AB positive and need blood, I'll take anything. If someone needs your blood, sorry, exclusive club only. But wait, it gets worse. Remember how A types have sticky blood and heart problems, and B types have their own issues. AB types said, why choose? Let's have both.
Evolution. It's the ultimate blood type.
Doctors, it's certainly a blood type that exists. Less than 5% of humans have this. You're basically running experimental firmware.
Point 2, O negative, the universal donor.
Only 7% of humans have O negative blood, but 100% of emergency rooms are obsessed with you. You're the Superman of blood types. No A antigens, no B antigens, no RH factor. Your blood in its factory settings mode. You can save literally anyone, but here's the catch. Only other O negatives can save you. You're basically playing life as a support character, with no health potions for yourself. Mass casualty event, get the O negative. Natural disaster, O negative stat. Random Tuesday, let's call the O negative donor just in case. But being universal comes with a price. If you're an O negative woman having an RH positive baby, your immune system might literally fight your own child. Like intruder alert. Evolution really said with great power comes great reproductive complications. Thanks, evolution. Super cool. O negatives watching this, you're not just people, you're walking medical infrastructure. You're the emergency broadcast system of blood. Every vampire movie should technically be about you. And then there's the rarest of them all. Point 1, AB negative. The 0.5%, less than 0.5% of humans have AB negative blood. You're rarer than people who've been to space. Rarer than lottery winners. Rarer than people who actually read the terms and conditions. You're the youngest blood type, AB, minus the RH factor, that 85% of humans have. It's like ordering a unicorn with extra unicorn. The genetic lottery looked at you and said, let's make this interesting. But here's the twist nobody expects. Your plasma is universal, while your red cells are pickier than a toddler at dinner. Your plasma can save anyone. You're simultaneously the most useless and most useful blood type, depending on which part we're talking about. AB negative, I'm special. Universe, you're statistically improbable. AB negative. So, special? Universe? Sure, let's go with that. If blood types were Pokemon cards, you'd be the misprint. That's either worthless or worth thousands depending on who's asking. You're standing at the absolute edge of human blood variation, waving at the rest of us from the genetic frontier. So next time someone asks your blood type, don't just say a positive. Say I'm carrying 10,000 years of evolutionary beef with bacteria, the genetic GPS of ancient migrations, and a biological conspiracy theory that turned out to be true. My blood is currently having an argument with modernity about whether cholera or heart disease is scarier. Your blood type isn't just keeping you alive. It's running legacy code from when humans were basically spicy monkeys, trying not to die. You're not just a person, you're a walking medical mystery that somehow works. Remember, O types are out here bleeding longer, but living stronger. A types are fighting their farming ancestry. B types are genetic nomad, and AB types are the new kids trying to fit in after 500 years. Evolution programmed your blood like someone coding at 3 a.m. on Red Bull. It works, but nobody knows why. And we're all too afraid to update it. And that's how spaghetti untangles the liquid history lesson pumping through your veins right now.